encountered the police, who were not very helpful. When we told them where we were coming from, they were more interested in making sure that we leave the country. Because on the same day that we managed to leave Myanmar, that was the day our visas were expiring. Again, we were stuck because we had no money, we could not afford tickets or even a hotel or just to buy food. And unfortunately, we had nobody to call back home to ask for help because we were the ones people call when they need help. So we ended up calling one of our friends who helped us again secure another job in Laos, where they said again they needed translators. And so without thinking much of it, because of us being in a desperate situation to just leave this place, just to earn whatever we can to leave the place, we took it up, not knowing that we were getting back into the same ordeal. So again, the travel costs were covered, they paid for our hotel stays, we were waiting for our visas, and we arrived in Thailand. This time around, we were in the heart of the city at a place that was taking cover as a hotel, and actually it wasn't. And to our surprise, we found the same thing that we left in Myanmar, we found it in Thailand, in Laos. It was the same job again. But this one, we were kept under lock and key. We were not even allowed to go out of the room, so we just walk around at the premises. We were kept under lock and key in a tiny small room where we shared the place. Again, our phones were monitored, and this time we were told to say we just had to make the money, and they were requesting for like a good amount of money, maybe 8 or 10 to, if I can remember correctly, $1,000 for us to pay them so that we can get our freedom back. So we stayed for a month plus. We failed to come up with the money, and they said, and this is when they told us to say, okay, since you failed to come up with the money, you are of no use to us, we are going to sell you. So when we heard that, that's when I decided to take a risk, and I said, you know what, I'll just share my location. Even if our phones are being monitored, I'll share and I'll quickly delete it. Hopefully, I don't know what kind of technology was very good. They could track, I don't know how they were doing it, but it was working. But I took the risk. So I shared my location with one of my friends, and I told them to say, if you don't hear from me again, this was my last location. And I briefly shared with them exactly what our situation was and where we were. So 3 days before our sale, my friend was calling me, they couldn't get a hold of me, and they got worried, and thankfully they engaged Interpol and other people. They had a photo of mine, they shared, and they say, you need to find this person, they're in this country, and this was their last location. That was 3 days before. On that same day, we were sleeping in the locked small room. They just came and opened the door. They told us to come out. They were panicking. They grabbed everything that we had, and they wanted to put us in another tiny room with other people that we never even met. We didn't even know they were in the same place. So whilst we were there waiting anxiously, we thought that was the day they were going to sell us. So thinking maybe people will be coming in to auction us and everything. But lucky for us, it was the police that stormed the place, and they were looking for me. So when they opened that door, they found me, and they had a photo of me on their phone. They're saying they were looking for this person, and I said, it is I. So when they identified me and identified myself, they finally said, oh no, we're here to rescue you. We got information to say you're being held hostage and everything in this place and all of that. So the people who are in that place, who were keeping us hostage and to do all the work, had run away. They had successfully run away. I don't know how, but they did. So they checked the place, they found drugs, they found another 2 gang groups that were trying to do a business deal, but they were caught in the middle of it. So we were all taken by the police and were taken to the police station to give our statements. From there, we had the IOU, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that also came to our aid. They asked for our names and everything, and they managed to get us tickets to actually come back home, because now they were asking us, are you able to get tickets to come back home? We said no. That's when we called our families. They couldn't come up with anything. So they put their monies together, and we were able to come back home safely. At the end of the day, I would like to make sure that in all that we're doing, I understand that sometimes we can be the breadwinners of our families, or the people we are the people that people look up to for anything. And in desperate times, we don't really take the right measures to make sure that whatever we're getting into is actually safe and legit. When it comes to jobs, especially jobs, because this is a medium that they're using a lot to traffic people. If you can, ask around. If you can, do your homework. But don't just depend on what you find. We need to be very careful with the things that we come across, even if it's something recommended to you by somebody you know, a loved one, a friend, a family member. It doesn't matter who. It is important to do a background check, because you never know where you're going to and what you're going to find.